Hey, okay, let me fix this. And welcome. I'm so sorry I had a lot of trouble to start the session, and I know I'm late. Thanks so much for waiting for me. And let's do this really quick. So, well, not quick. We are going to take our time, but let's just start and dive quickly. That was what I wanted to say with the coding, right? It's 2 a.m. in Nigeria. I can't stay up that longer, please. Okay, don't worry. Remember, this it's part two. We covered part one yesterday, and we're having part three also next, just after this one's finished. So that will be 3.5 hours. So that's too much time, at least for me, if I think about focusing and putting attention. So don't you worry. You can watch the stream later. And if it's not a great time for you, don't worry. I would recommend better take a good snap and rest yourself, right? Hey, you can watch the recording of this stream. Okay, yeah, thanks for the reminder. I hope part one isn't a prerequisite. I only managed to three through the video. Okay, don't worry. It's not a prerequisite, but I recommend you to watch it since we cover how to tackle the first part in a building of a web page, which is the design, right? I explain how I design, how I think of my process, how I make these wireframes, mockups, the tools I use, etc. So again, I recommend you to watch it in full, but don't worry. Yes, monthly likely, that's what I will do. Okay, don't worry. And these third and second parts are for coding that design we select and manage on the first part, and the second part, sorry, and the third part will be for the backend, right? Not specifically in terms of time, but in general, maybe I can take more time doing the interface and less time doing the backend. I don't know. We will discover that, right? So let's get our hands on this. I'm going to start sharing my screen. I hope you can see it now. And well, hi guys, says Sala Gamer 123. So yeah, we finish here design handoff, what do we need, etc. And so the framework selection, I picked Next.js and Tailwind because that's something I feel comfortable with. I know React. I love React. I do Angular where I work, so I also know Angular. I tried Vue. I haven't tried Svelte, to be honest, but I choose Next.js specifically because I just feel it helped me to make everything more simple. Uh, Plus, it's a versatile product, so if I want to deploy it, I can do it really, really quick. And it has a great integration with Tailwind, right? I am not Tailwind master. I prefer sometimes to do the classes myself, but I do think also that Tailwind can help me a lot with the quick development. So I choose Next.js and Tailwind with the help of the existing AI tools because I just think that's a really, really um, quick web page to build, right? It can be more robust. It can have more specifics or or flavors depending on what we need. But this integration, I just love it. So that's the main idea here. I also want you to take your looks on alternatives. For example, you can use React directly and Vite, which is a minimal app scaffolding and great for learning React fundamentals if you are not familiar with React yet. So maybe that's not the great idea for you to skip directly to next, but to use this. Um, Sweet, right? Remix is smart routing. Then we have Astro. Astro, I also like it. I have tried, and I think it's great. To be honest, um, Gatsby, I don't know. I just feel it's too like Angular. I don't know how to explain it, and it's nothing against Angular. I really think Angular is great for enterprise, but like for us as individuals, as yeah, just a team of one. I don't know. I don't think that makes much sense. But it's up to you. You can choose if you think Angular it's great for you. Then you can use Svelte or Vue. Again, it's up to preferences. And at this point, I maybe be like I don't know. Maybe you expected like more a granular or a table or something to say like, oh, this framework is much better than this other. But the real truth is that I don't think there are frameworks that are much better than others. That's why there are many good frameworks and they keep alive and they have a lot of users because it's again up to preferences and depending on which one you learn first, which one you feel it fits more your needs, um, one can be better for some things than others. But the main idea is that you use the one that you like more, right? Again, in my case, that's Next, which is a React framework with Tailwind, which is just a way to have access to classes without having a style sheet file, but to have them like directly from the library, right? What happens if we did not finish our Figma? Don't you worry. Actually, I didn't finish mine either because today was really busy. I have to admit. I don't know what happened. Like I went out of home 10 a.m. and I arrived way too late to do the Figma thing. Uh, you don't get the swag. No, don't worry. You'll get the swag. Um, but yeah, don't worry. It doesn't matter if you didn't finish your Figma. I mean, like the idea of this session, it's just to give you the core concepts, not actually for you to finish something or create something. You can do it on your own time. You can watch your stream again. You can, I don't know, have a free time later at the week and go ahead and complete your Figma. Go ahead and complete your web page, right? Um, Actually, I'm going to ask you, like, when you complete your web page, not it doesn't have to be like when I finish it, but maybe some weeks or even months later, just post it on Discord and share it with the world. Um, it's today meeting 4 hours. Yes, exactly. Well, two from one session and two from another, but yeah, mainly in general for 4 hours. So Well, just make sure to have your pre-work checklist, which is create the Figma account, install Node, VS Code, Git, optional, and sync up to Netlify or Netlify if you haven't. Or you don't have an account, I recommend you to have a Vercel or Netlify account for deploying. I'm going to use the Vercel one. If you're not familiar of what these are, don't worry. We are going to take a deeper look in part four, right? So remember, we want to do not this. Actually, I can close this. We're going to do something like this and this to replace this one. And we create a wireframe like this other. I am going to integrate also these two. So give me a second and I'm going to move the contact page fully. I'm going to move this. This is the services, no, the facts and the testimonial. I'm going to move them both. Maybe the facts, the testimonial first, then the facts. And now we can finish with the contact. Colors. Let me grab the color picker. Actually, there is a page I use, which is colors. Um, I have some saved here. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, I think I delete them. Okay. I'm going to pick the colors of the ones that we have from this. Actually, it's this one. Ooh, I used to have an integration for the color picker, but since I changed the browser, I will need to install it again. Give me a second. I'm not able to sync up for the student developer pack, even though I am a student. Is there a way to folks actively hacking to sync me up for the student developer pack? I will recommend you to better write them an email, not to the manually hacking, but to GitHub Education to see what's happening. The school, it's not there, and I can switch my Gmail to a student Gmail. It's not there. What do you mean with it's not there? Um, well, two points here. One, it's a my right recommendation will be to write the email directly to GitHub Education, not to the mail hacking, because it's like asking someone to ask someone else, right? You can ask directly to GitHub Education. And the other recommendation is yes to have your student email attached to your GitHub account, but you can have it as a secondary email. In the drop down, when I search my school, it does not show mine. Okay, don't you worry about that. Again, have your email from your educational account in your GitHub, but you can have both. Have the personal one as the main one, but have the your educational email as the second one, and then try to apply again. It should recognize the school when you apply, but if it still does not recognize, again, I will ask you to email the GitHub Education team. Um, yeah, that's my recommendation. Also, try to see if there's any GitHub student developer, sorry, GitHub campus expert around you, just to try to make contact with him and or her. I'll try to help you with that. So yeah, let me see. extract color from image. Let's see. I'm going to download this. And I'm going to open it here from the downloads. Okay. Which color this is one? Okay, I want to lock this. I want to lock this. And the other one I'm missing. It's not only those two, but I'm missing the purple, right? Yeah, the purple. Okay. Um, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to, okay, these are locked now. I'm going to add a new, oh, how I added one color picker, list of colors, go processing, and more. Hello. How do I create another one? Okay. No, chatbot, no. It's just palette, no. Color blindness, check palette contrast, visualize color, more. Come on. How I added more? View, no. Mm, check contrast, remove color, view shades, save color, drag, copy hex. Um, but if I want to add more, okay, maybe here in the colors, that generator, I can close this and these ones. Okay, I have this, perfect, which I want to save. I have this one, which I want to save. I have this other one, which I want to save. And now we can start checking more colors. Okay, I love the peach and I love this blue. I think it's nice. I think it's colorful. The color line is okay. That's a pro feature. How I add more? Okay, here add more colors. Let's see. Oh, to generate more than 5 colors, remove ads, blah blah blah. No, that's fine. Okay, these 5 colors, it's nice to me. Maybe to see the shades. Yeah, this is the color palette I am using. I like it, so I am keeping it. Let me close this one, and I'm going to start moving some things around. So also, color sealer. Okay, let's add it. Add the extension, and now I have it. Right, great. Now let's come here. Now let's start checking what's with this. Okay, this is a dark color, brown, and get nice with the yellow. So for the first one, I think I should add this with the pink. Let's see how they look. I think they look great, and I'm just curious if I want to add it with the pink or with the green. I think with the pink one will be great. Yeah, yeah, I think I like it. So I'm going to move to hyper. Let's then check here. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Um, so yes, CD developer, CD Global Hack Week, and Global Hack Week Beginners. CD my first web and L code. Okay, and what I recommend to you is that take your time to open Next.js. Well, if you want to do the same as me, else if you want to use any other framework or anything, don't worry. my recommendation is to start exploring your tool, see the latest updates, because sometimes the the versions you use change a lot. That happened to me with Next, because Next is changing everything all the time. But don't get me wrong, I think they change things for good sometimes. But what I mean is that things change and you need to adapt. So keep update with, even if you already know some technology, try to review the docs constantly to just make sure that everything is smooth, right? So I'm going to use Copilot in the agent mode. So I'm going to use Cloud. I mean, I have Cloud available, but also GPT. So I'm going to keep with Cloud, and I'm going to start ask some things. Hey, I want to create a web page with Next.js and Tailwind to um, show. Well, I want to create a web page with Next.js and Tailwind. Help me prepare everything needed. I want the page to be uh, landing with a smooth scroll for all sections, which are and we defined them previously in Figma. So we have the main. Why don't this collapse? Okay, perfect. The main about services. Testimonials, fact, contact, and a dedicated component section for all these components as a carousel and tab and some collapsible tabs. Let's see. Any question? I will help you create a next blah, blah, blah. Open an empty folder to continue. While requires an empty folder as a workspace to continue workspace creation. I'm going to call this Vectina. Okay, I will have you create Next.js workspace with Tailwind CSS for your landing page. So let me set this up for you. So this is an instruction file for the GitHub Copilot. So it's inside the .github. These use the file to approve the workspace specific custom instructions, verify the compliant instructions and it's created, clarify more project requirements. We are going to run npx create a next app latest using TypeScript, Tailwind, ESLint, and the app we are going to have it on source directory. So everything seems fine there. Um, Scaffolding project, customize a project. Since these are not marked yet, so this has haven't happened. Compile the project, create and run task, launch the project, ensure the condition is complete. Okay, first we need to create a project, of course. So that's the call for the project. Ensure the previous step has marked as complete. This is already. Um, let's see what else is happening here. How did you open this up in your GitHub? What do you mean? Um, the GitHub Copilot one? Okay. We have a specific session for that in the Melody Hacking. We have one called um, Hack Faster with GitHub Copilot or something like that, or yeah, something like that. The point is that we show you how to set up GitHub Copilot in your computer, also how to claim your student developer account, so you have GitHub Copilot for free. And in your Visual Studio Code, in the extensions, in the plugins, you can find the GitHub Copilot one. Um, Here should be, yeah, GitHub Copilot and GitHub Copilot Chat. If you open the chat one will show you these kind of things, where you can change from the ask, the edit, and the agent mode. You can set different mode. Plus, you can select the model you want to use, GPT 4001, minis. There's the Gemini ones. There are some of Sonnet, Cloud Sonnet. Um, there's a wide list. So some of them are totally like included in your GitHub account. Some of the others are like restricted. You have a certain number of tokens that you can consume. For example, right now I'm consuming probably a lot of tokens. And what else? Well, there are tools that you can set up as well. um, for these specifically, this thing, okay, it was taking too much, but it was waiting for me. So yes, I want to proceed. Sorry, Gobala. Unfortunately, I have already exceeded my monthly quota for the chat. Yeah. Okay. The directory Actina contains file that call conflict. Did you have either tried using a new directory name or remove the files list above? Um, okay, why not? Turbo Pack, yes. Would you like to customize the import aliens by default? No, I don't want to customize them. So let's see what's happening here. Yeah, I get you about the monthly quota. Probably I consume all my tokens here during the session. But if something fails, we can run, remember the model locally and connect it here to Copilot. So you're good to go. Or use one of the base ones, which are GPT. So we won't have any problem. And now the thing that's preventing us, it's that we have a lot of things here. Okay, yeah, there's a problem. No, there's no problem. This is taking just too much time. Well, yeah, we do have a problem, which is it's taking too much time, and also I noticed that we put this inside the my first web slides folder, which totally doesn't make sense. So I'm going to change that in a second. Maybe this is taking too much time for this. I'm going to delete that all. I'm going to close this, um, cancel, and cancel. I'm going to copy here, close this all, come here and check that everything should be as I want. CD, it's remove the slides slash Dactina. I don't want Dactina, and I don't want next landing, something like that. I don't want it. Now here I want these, and inside this function, okay, what happened there? Here I want to run npx create next app latest TypeScript Tailwind ESLint app. Okay, perfect. Oh, we have a slides conflict. Let's see in the documentation how we can fix that. npx create. Okay. Um, okay, and let's mk and cd to Dactina. And here I want to create that. Yes, to pack. No to the import alias. And let's see why it took so much time from previous steps. Okay, this already looks complete. README, post CSS config, the package JSON. This even have a node modules one. The Next.js config, node modules. I okay. This is not empty. Public source with app. Okay. Then why are you taking so much? I don't get it. Okay. Okay, it completed the installation of all the packages. It took a lot. Uh, hey, what's going on? And last, we're setting up for project to start coding the web page. That's it. It took a lot to install the node models, but I think we can continue now. Also, about the context, I'm going to remove the Dactina open one, and I'm going to pass the file Dactina folder completely. And yeah, great. I can see you already created the Next.js project with TypeScript, Tailwind, CSS, and ESLint. I'll help you to create a smooth crawling single page website that all sections you mentioned, plus reusable components like routers and collapsible tabs. Let me first check your crying project structure and then start building with the components and section. Okay, here name package.json Dactina. The first version seems nice. We have everything installed correctly. I am also taking a look as well. Oh, here I want to read the page TS. It's in app, so page TS. It's just what exists already from the getting started. Perfect. I'll create your smooth scrolling website. First, let's create the components directory structure. We need components. Yeah. The UI, cursor, collapsible tabs, navigation. I need to install the hero icons package. Let me do that first. Yeah, continue. Collapse. That is spell. Okay, it's collapsible. Wow, with an E. Huh, I didn't know it. So no, I didn't misspelled. This is fine. Package is already installed. Other one package, the landing section. So we have now the sections, not only the components. About landing. So we will start moving some things. How do I set it up on my end? The question will be then, what do you want to do? If you want to do next as me, there's a simple command for that. It's npx if you don't want to install by yourself. Um, Create next app, which you can find in the documentation. npx create next app at latest just tells the version. uh, in this case we're installing the latest version. You can install at a specific version, but this is the command. If you want to do it yourself, like not npx, there's a manual installation with npm pnp yarn or bun. I heard beautiful things about bun, but I haven't tried. So the most common one will be this one. But again, if you want to do next, if you don't want to do next, but if you want to do Angular, then you have to use the Angular CLI, for example. If you want to use React directly, there's something like this, the Create React app, or manually start from zero the React app, because in that case, React it does not require specific folder structure. I do use Next app because you do require a specific folder structure, but don't worry. I mean, how you start, it depends on what you want to do. And sorry, I got here a little late. Don't worry, sit down and enjoy the coding. We will talk about some interesting topics while we code the page. Right now, the AI it's helping us do the heavy work, um, the file creation, the best templates, etc. But we are going to step in and start changing a lot of the content in a few minutes. What is Next.js? Great question. Next.js is a framework that has React. It's the React framework, exactly as that for the web. So if you don't know or are not familiar with React, it's components library that help you manage the state of your web application. So it's library for the UI interface in web, and it's a library, not a framework, because it's not that strict. It's kind of loose, actually. That's why a lot of people don't like it. But to be as strict as a framework, there's really the Next.js project, right? There's also Gatsby, for example, but I do like more Next. What did I miss? I started working on a web page through Figma after the part one workshop, and I also installed the Figma extension in VS Code. Well, I don't. I'm going to use the Figma extension in VS Code. Again, that will be up to preferences. But hey, nice initiative. What you miss? Well, I just told that we are going to. Okay, this is already created the base template. So this is trying to run it, and now it's going to solve some issues. Um, yeah, it needs to move to the yeah, move to the directory and then run it. Okay, and it's running now. Again, what you missed, not much. We are preparing everything to start coding these sections and the interaction and everything. We just select the color palette, which is this one. That actually, I'm going to take a screenshot before I lose this for any reason. Okay, and I set up through the documentation of Next, right? Okay, let's open this on localhost to make sure everything's right. Okay, it's compiling, it's taking its time. Okay, first problem, error, a lot of errors. So continue to get help with this error. I see the issue. The components need to be marked as client components because they used event handler on click. Yes. So it's fixing all that mess. And now we can inspect what's in here. The public one we need to replace with our own assets. In the next and in node modules, don't you worry, that's internal use. That's why they are hidden. For the app, this is interesting because the page created everything inside the components and the component sections and added just as the main page. So yeah, it makes sense because Next helps us manage the routing, but since we are not moving from page to page and we are staying in the same route, which can be interesting to talk about SEO. Now I think it's called differently, but that helps the search engine to know where we're stepping, right? Since we are now in just one landing, moving and scrolling from everything, I don't know what we need to expect. But yeah, we are looking for the navigation, landing, about, services, testimonials, fact, contact, and footer. So request failed. Oh, let's try again. Um, what's inside the navigation? That's interesting. Components, sections, UI, navigation. Okay, the navigation is the header. I get it. Nav, yeah. Probably we need to move this to be the header. Okay, seems now to be working properly. Welcome to Dactina. Okay, yep, interesting. Nice sidebar, nice carousel. Let's see how it made. Okay, the collapsible are great, but we want something like this. So we are going to change that. And getting touch, perfect. I love it. Actually, it was great. Let's put our flavor on this. What do I need to add to VS Code? Nothing. Don't worry. Again, this is not the type of session where I say do this or do that. Excellent. Okay, I'm going to start making some changes. This is not the type of session where I say do this or do that. This is a type of session that I want to take a look for what I'm doing, not to replicate it exactly, but to understand what I'm doing, right? In this case, I already designed in part one what I want. I have my vision of the page. In this part two, we select some other, we are making other decisions. Remember, the AI already codes so well. So we need to be more decision makers, right? So in this second part, we are taking the decisions, in this case, of the frameworks, of the colors, of the vision we have about the page. We ask the AI for doing the template, for doing the ramifications, the structure, and then now we are going to move the code to make it fit to what we want. um, if the question is how you add Copilot to Visual Studio Code, then again, we have a session for that. Don't you worry. I'm pretty sure if I check here the schedule, we probably have one in this global hack week. Get cracked, understand. Here, for example, making better hacks faster with GitHub Copilot by Ryan Lehu. So this should be in the recording from Saturday. It was streamed at 11 a.m. ET time. So go and check it out. And you can see how you can add a Copilot to your team, right? There are many others. We have, for example, another session where we can show you how to set up Rue with Gemini if you don't like Copilot for any reason, but that will be fine, right? Now let's start inspecting what it's happening here. Uh, um, Nice. Components of the website feature smart scrolling navigation, all required sections, reusable UI components, modern design features, technical implementation, next steps. Okay, so let's start reviewing. Um, we can close this. The globals. Okay, let's keep everything and let's start just moving things around. I'm going to stop this for a second. Okay, no. I'm going to be checking everything, starting with the globals. So we have Tailwind imported. So scrolling from the entire page, the scroll behavior is smooth. I like it. Scrollable. it's 8 pixels. I also like it. Background, Tumblr, root, body. The background one. Background, let's add some colors. This is going to be called, I don't know, um, white, dark, no, light, dark, and let's move our color palette here. Purple, pink, green, blue, peach, and let's call the dark differently. Smoky black, right? So uh, background doesn't exist anymore. So the body, the whole body, should be changed for beach. Color should be changed for pink. And the media color scheme. Mm, mm, mm. Okay, right now we can change that. And if we refresh, I am going to close all of this. npm run dev. And it's compiling. It's taking its time, but I'm sure it's going to compile somewhere. Okay, I see you have a lot of comments. Sorry, I missed them. I have nothing in my BS. So I start working on building the web page in Figma. How do I get that from Figma to BS? Install the Figma extension in BS Code. What is all that files? Can you explain each component? Yeah. Um, yeah. The idea here is that I know this is for beginners, and you may be thinking like you're doing like way complicated stuff. I'm sorry, sometimes it's kind of hard to take a step back and think about the things that are not beginner friendly. So you're right. I'm so sorry. Um, what's happening here is that yes, you already create your Figma, and that's only design. How you take it from code. The issue here is that the session is not intended to teach you how to code from zero. Um, you should already have some familiarity with things like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, which indeed are the technologies you do need to create a web page, right? So I'm so sorry. This is still it's beginner friendly because even if I am assuming you already know how to code, the idea of this session. It's to give you the things that are not fully technical, but in the mental process, like hints and suggestions on your process of building a web page, right? So even if you don't know a framework, even if you don't know how to do JavaScript at all, you only barely know HTML, you only barely know CSS, you only know like JavaScript, but just how to console log. I don't know how to do Node.js. The point here is that you do the thing that you can do to manage to create your page. It does not necessarily have to be something complex as this. And what I mean with complex, let's face the truth, this is something heavy. Even if I ask the AI to do this, I certainly created, or how to say it, yeah, I certainly need some knowledge to know what's happening here, right? uh, and again, that you're completely right. So let's just stay in the same boat here. um, in this session, it's not intended for you to know the technical things for creating the page. uh, it's just for you to having the mental process of creating a page, and that mental process, I think it's of a huge value, because it does not matter again what technologies you're using, what um, languages you're using, what softwares or tools or everything you're using, but the process, the core thing happening, it's what you will learn. Now, how you create your design, up to you. How you code your AI, up to you. The point is having the idea of how to do things in an abstract way. You can even ask, if you don't have Copilot or anything, go to ChatGPT. It's free, it's the internet. Ask ChatGPT the things I am asking to Copilot in my computer. Copy that, paste that in a file, open it in your web browser, and it should work, and you should have it. So we're kind of democratizing also these tools and opportunities, because you don't need to be um, a very talented or very technical skill developer to create your first web page. If you manage to get the core ideas, you can have that all help from the AI, right? And more now than ever. That doesn't mean you don't need to become, or I am discouraging for you to becoming a technical expert. I mean, of course you need to know what's happening, but again, we're in an era of transitions, so I think it has more value to understand this abstraction, to understand these ideas, more than taking that time in learning right now, for example, for this session, how to translate the Figma into uh, the code that's happening here. But also, it's kind of what I'm doing now, right? Changing the code, changing the connections, and I'm going to start playing with all of this. And also, of course, no issues, I am going to explain the components. Don't worry. Um, did I don't understand how it all works? No, go to Figma and select open your project in the VS Code. Okay, thank you. How did you open localhost? You have both options here. For example, in the CLI, if you see this is getting underlined, you can press option and click, or directly go to your web browser and just type localhost double dot 300, and that's it. Don't worry. But again, even if I'm not serving these on a local host, the thing that can happen as well, as I am saying to you, it's that Norwegians, you can ask ChatGPT, and I really take a pause. I wait for you. Don't worry. Open ChatGPT. Ask ChatGPT to give you the HTML file. Say that HTML file for a web page, copy that into a file with the extension HTML. Now drag and drop that file into your browser, and you will have your web page. It won't be interactive. I mean, you cannot click things like the homepage and services, testimonials, fact, contract, everything. You probably won't be able to do that, but you will have your web page, right? And that's yeah, and that's the basic. Where can we learn the technical? A lot of resources, a lot of places. Myself, I started learning in internet, in YouTube videos. Thanks to you, you already are in the mainly hacking, right? In the mainly hacking community, you can find a lot of streams for building this. Again, that's not the intention of this specific session, but for example, I am taking a look to the other streams from for the global hack week beginners. Figma to code, learning design with Figma, for example. Um, from idea to MVP with Carry, probably it has something like that. Uh, uh, um, Music creator, okay, yeah. This global hack week, I think didn't include a specific one for those kind of things, nor issues, but I'm pretty sure upcoming ones will have more beginners and everything information, right? Also, there's the YouTube channel for the mainly hacking. You probably can find a lot of information not only for these specific global hack week, but from previous ones, and so you have a wide selection of videos existing there. So let's get started. Maybe, sorry, better. Let's continue. So we changed the global. Let's change how the page is. And inside navigation, navigation will be at the top, which is the header, main, and the footer. The footer, okay, seems right. And the navigation one, landing, about, service, testimonial. Let me see if that fits for what we wanted. This it's the landing. This is the about. This is the services. This is the contact. This is so services, testimonial, FAQ, and then the contact. Perfect. Sections. And this is where we start moving things. Let's change a lot the navigation one. Starting with the indentation, I prefer two tabs more than one. This does not change anything else, but just me. Okay. Um, then from the page, I'm closing all of this. Then navigation. Okay, perfect. So it's open. We have home, href to landing, href to about, testimonials, fact, and contact. And I think all of them works right, accurately. Oh, we still have 30 minutes to the next session. So we are going to make a small pause here. Like in 20 minutes, I'm going to break. You will have 10 minutes to go get some water, and then we continue with this with the next part, right? Um, so yeah, about home works well, services works well, testimonials, facts, contacts, and that's it, right? So I'm going to delete the home. I'm going to say change this to the icon, and is open. Where is this used? The use state. Handle scroll, navigations, map, substring one, current sections, find, blah blah blah, button, files. Okay, this is perfect. Uh, huh, this needs another level of orientation. Window event scroll, handle scrolling, mobile min. Okay, for mobile. Okay, let's see in a second how this looks on mobile. Bell inspect. Let's see this on mobile. Okay, okay, um, great. So let's start changing this. I don't want else to be. This is hurting. I'm going to make this a little less wide. And the logo, I'm going to change the arrangement. Uh, Half will be at the left, another half would be at the right. So we have one, two, three, four, five. That's what we thought. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. And I'm going to. I don't know. I'm not sure about that behavior. For example, here, this is separated on one, two, three, one, two, three. Yeah, I probably add the home again. I will do that. I will add the home again. And as I was saying, I am going to split this in two. Um, so I have the icon. Let me get it. This should be the icon. So I am going to download it. Also, I haven't choose the font, so that's another great thing to have in mind. Um, yeah, I am going to say here I have the PNG for the icon. I want it to be at the middle of the nav, and the rest of the nav items, I want them to be split half to the right and half to the left. And while this works, I probably add this to the public. Oh, oh. I see you want to restructure the navigation with the logo icon in the center. Let me help you modifying that. First, let me check if you have added the PNG. Can you tell me? Okay, it isn't on that. Okay, I'm going to add the navigation. Okay, here's some Finder downloads. Oh, it wasn't downloaded. Save. Okay, now it's downloaded. I don't know why. Didn't happen that before. Okay, making changes. So we have time. We're good. Okay, nice. And let's change it again. It was change the left, right with all things about services, testimonial facts, behavior, left navigation, the logo, image. This it's not like that. This is this one. It's now compiling again. Logo error, then the logo name. But here I am going to ask in the root in the global CSS file, I find a pink variable. Use it for the use it instead of and while this loads, let's see how it's doing. Okay, nice. The only thing I kind of don't like it's the hover behavior that's selected. Um, this one does not seems to have it. We just need to change the color, but not the not the behavior of this. Okay, try again. Okay, this is great, but it's too small. I will need to make it. Okay, perfect. It was changed here. It's going to be changed here now and in the rest. And then I can move the width and the height. Okay, too much failures for the moment. Okay, got it now. What else? Rest of the navigation items. Okay, got it now. Then I can do the rest myself. Don't worry, because you're taking too much time, buddy. Yeah, congratulations. Okay, thank you. Yeah, yeah. Thanks. Okay, too much drama for that. I'm going to inspect these again, but I don't want the logo or anything. I just want to take a look to this. Where it was defined the 40 and 40 with auto. No, then here line display. Yeah, maybe here. Okay, it doesn't matter. I'm going to move this from here. Come on, refresh. Didn't this change? Still on 40. Why is that? If okay, let's do one thing that it's also changing um, the background of this to be again more similar to this other. Um, the navigation in general should be also have a lower level level of indent. This one is one thing, and then the mobile white background white. No, shouldn't be background gray white. Background bar pitch. Okay. And of course, I need this to be wider. So, yeah. Um, yeah, the problem is the background, right? Hover background grade. No, I don't like that. Hover text, background pink, background purple, and when it's select, I don't want any background either. Just if it's the active selection, have it on pink, and text it does not feel, or it doesn't cease. Like, okay, that's a great question. How did manage to do this? So if I hover, also the background should not be peach, but should be like almost nothing. Yeah, that's great. Almost nothing. Yeah, I like this. So the only thing I'm missing, yeah, it's the hover. I don't feel like I like that effect. Um, how else? Neither purple, neither the text gray. Light. Oh yeah, yeah, because none of them are going to be on a light surface. I hope. Uh, um, yeah, I hope this makes sense. What else do you need to have that as we want? Just changing the icon, Okay, let's see like this with property to what? Okay, this is insane. And why happened this? Okay, it's time to make the pause because we are running out of time for the next session. But remember, we are going to go back for part three to the next session in just 10 minutes or less to continue with the coding, right? So thanks for joining me. Remember to leave your feedback every time to mlh.link/global hack with feedback. If you do want more beginner, like starting from even less, that's a completely valid point. And thanks for sharing. We will truly appreciate your feedback. So, well, see you in a couple minutes.